Hello, this is Blakey Crow. I'm going to show you how that I taught a, a group piano class where everyone in the class was 80 plus years old, how to play a hymn in 2 lessons. This was at a gospel music school. Each class met for 2 hours each day and with group piano lessons. And what I did was I took a group of beginners that were 80 plus years old, had 4 ladies in their 80s, one guy was 92. And in 2 days, at the end of the second day, they could play a hymn together. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. The hymn is Nothing But the Blood of Jesus. And so in this hymn, there's only 2 chords. There's a G chord and there's a D7 chord. So I chose this hymn because it only has 2 chords. We didn't play the song as it's written. We didn't play the melody. I just taught them how to play chords and play the song using chords. So what I did first was we said, okay, let's learn to listen. Let's listen and know when the chords changes. So here's what we did. We started out and I started playing the song and they were singing it. They were singing it like, what can wash out? Well, you see that wasn't the right chord on that next syllable there. What can wash out? It was the wrong chord. It changes. That's when it changed from the G. It was in the key of G, so you use the G chord a lot more, but you use the D7 chord some. So it would go, what can wash out? You see, it changes chords. So that they could hear that. What can wash out? And then on the way, it goes back to the G again. What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. See, that's wrong there. It changes chords. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. So we worked first on them hearing when the chord was going to change. So we did that to begin with. We practiced on that, and they recognized that, okay, the chord is different, and it's going to go to the other chord, which is the D7. So it'd be, what can wash, and it changes chords. And it changes chords again. Way my sin. And after doing that, then we discussed the 2 chords that we're going to use in the song. We had the G and the D7. The D7 has 4 notes in the chord. Since it's got 4 notes, let's find the easiest place to play that chord. Well, the D7 chord is a D and an F sharp and an A. I'm going to play it up here so you can see it better on the camera. D is, you got 2 black notes. The D is between the 2 black notes. The F sharp, you got 3 black notes. It's the black note to the furthest to the left. So D, F sharp. And then the A is between, of the 3 black notes, is between the 2 on the right. And then the C is just to the left of the 2 black notes. So it's a D, F sharp, A, and C. I'm kind of moving my hand so you can kind of see it better on the camera. So since there's 4 notes in this chord, let's find a place where that we can easily play this. So looking at your hand, it kind of fits. So in the left hand, we're going to play that D, F sharp, A, and C. We're going to play the thumb and the first finger and the first, second, third finger, and then use the little finger for the other note. And play that D7 chord. So that D7 chord, we're going to play it with our left hand. D, F sharp, A, and C. So they learned to play that with their left hand. In the right hand, we didn't put the 7th note in. I didn't want that 7th note to be on the top. That wouldn't sound as well. So in the right hand, we only played D, F sharp, and A. We left the 7th off. We just put it in the left hand. We put it in the left hand. We did not put it in the right hand. We just played D, F sharp, and A. And of course, like D is between the 2 black notes. F sharp is the 3 black notes, the note furthest to the left. And the A, the 3 black notes, the 2 to the right is between those, D, F sharp, and A. So in the right hand, we just used a 1, 3, and 5. So the left hand played D, F sharp, A, and C, and your hand kind of fits that. And in the right hand, we just played 1, 3, and 5. And and play those together. That is a D7 chord. Then after we learn to play the D7 chord, the G chord, there's what we have inversions. We have the root, the first inversion, and the second inversion. The G chord, the root is G, B, and D. If you invert it, you take the bottom note to the top, and that's called first inversion. If you take the bottom note of that at the top, that's second inversion. Well, I asked them the question, which of these inversions is the closest on the keyboard to this D, F sharp, A, and C that we are playing? So I'm going to play that D, F sharp, A, and C up here so you can see it. Now, let's look at these different inversions of G. We have a G, which is G, B, and D. G, B, and D, here it's too low. Here it's too high. It's too far away from this note. So the root position is not close to what we have in the D7. So we don't want to use that. Let's check the first inversion, which is D, B and D and G. So look at the first inversion, that's too low, and then up here it's too high. If we go to the second inversion, it's a D, a G, and a B. Well, let's look. That works out real well because there's the D, you have a D. Then we got a G and a B, but that's between these top three fingers. That's the closest one. So what we did was we first found the easiest way to play the chord with the most notes, which is the D7. That was the root position, and we're only playing the seventh in the left hand. We're not doing the right hand. But we found the inversion of G that was the closest to this. So that inversion of G was a D, a G, and a B. The D, again, is between the two black notes. The G, you have the three black notes. The two to the left is between them, and the B is to the right of the third black note. And that position is close to the other. So what we did was we just took one hand at a time. We took the right hand. Let's play the G chord, which is D, G, and B. And let's go from there to the D chord. We're not going to do a D7 in the right. We're just going to do D. To do that, you just take these top two notes, just bring these fingers down. The middle note moves down to the sharp, and then the top note moves down to the next white note. And we practiced doing that. We just practiced going from the second inversion of G to the D. We just went back and forth between those two chords. This is the only two chords in the song. So if you can change from one to the other, then you can play the song. We did that in the right hand. We didn't do the seventh in the right hand, but in the left hand, we're going to play the G, which is D, G, and B. But from there, we're going to go to the D7, which you're going to do D, F sharp, A, and the C. So in the left hand, we played that. But to go to the D7, you keep the bottom note, but then instead of the first and second finger, you can use first, second, and third, and these top two fingers move up. They move up to the next white note above, and you also play that F sharp. So we practice going back and forth between and we did it in the right hand. And then we put both hands together. So with both hands together, as I told you earlier, this class met 2 hours a day. So for the first class, we didn't get to the song until the next class. In the first class, we did learn to recognize when it changed chords by hearing it. And we learned to play the G chord, the second inversion, and go into the D. We did it with the left hand and go into the D7. We worked on that. We worked with both hands together. Now I'm going to get the hymn book and bring it a little closer to the camera. By putting it close to the camera, also note that here it starts with a G chord. The G is on a line. Then notice for the D7 chord, they're on the spaces. And then it's back to lines. On this to start with, the first note is below, it is on a space, but if most of the notes are on the lines, it's a G. If most of the notes are in the spaces, it's a D7. So you can actually look at the music. You can look at the music, and since that's on the lines, that's a G. Since these are on the spaces, that's a D7. Since these are on the lines, that's a G. Now here's a discord, but just don't worry about it. Just play the same thing you've been playing. And then it's on the lines, then it's in the spaces, so that is a D7. It's on the line, that's a G. Well, the first score and the second score is exactly the same. Once you learn the first score, you know the second score. Also, the second half of that is the very last half of the last score. So once you learn this first score, you know half of the song, and you actually know the very ending also. Then you got another section to learn. Now, what we did was we're not playing the melody. We're only playing chords. And also, we learned the how long to hold each note. A note with just a stem is a quarter note. They get one beat. So to start with, you've got these quarter notes. They get one beat. The half note has an open face. It gets 2 beats. So to start with is 1 beat each. Then this one is held for 2 beats. Then you see where they're joined with a bar. Those are eighth notes. 2 of them gets a beat, so they're going to be twice as fast. So we also worked on the rhythm for the song. So working on the rhythm for the song, what we did was, you've got a quarter note, so it's 1, 2, 3. See, I'm sorry, let me start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and you hold that 2 beats. Then for the eighth notes, just play that chord using eighth notes, and then go to the quarter note, a half note, and a half note. So we worked on the timing. Play a quarter notes on the quarter notes. On the half note, hold it 2 beats. Eighth note, you got to play 2 of these for each beat. So for the timing, it's hold that 2 beats. Then we come into the eighth note, so you're going to go twice as fast. And so we practiced on that. And then the next day, of course, we reviewed all this again. We started from the very beginning again, went through it all again. We practiced going from the G chord to the D chord and back. In the left hand, we practiced doing the G chord to the D7 and back to the G. We put both hands together again. Then when we start to play the song, they had a choice. They could either hear when to change the chord, or they could look, and if there was some of the note, most of the notes was on the line, it was a G chord. If they're on the spaces, then it was a D7, and they could actually look at the song and tell if they were playing. So I'm gonna do the song. I'm not a singer, but I'm gonna sing along with it, and I'm gonna sing what they were playing. And notice, they're not playing the melody. They're not playing. But the singer sings the melody. So the singer doesn't need you playing their note. They're going to sing their note. So I'm going to play it and sing it here. What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Oh, precious is thy flow that makes me white as snow. all 5 of them, went in the 90s, and by the second class, doing 2 hours each day, at the end of the second class, all 5 of them played this together. And they were all excited. They were actually playing a hymn, and someone could sing it with them. So as you're learning this yourself, you don't have to be a senior. You can be any age. So no matter what age you are, if you've never played the piano before, learn the G chord. The D is between the 2 black notes. The 3 black notes is between the first 2, and the D is just to the right. So play that D chord, but play it with 1, 3, and 5. Then you're going to switch to the D chord. You're just going to move the top 2 notes down, D, F sharp, and A, and you can use 1, 3, 5 and just move those 2 fingers down and learn to go back and forth between those 2. For the left hand, again, you're playing the D, G, B, but this time you're going to play a D7, so you're going to play 4 notes. The right 2 fingers will move up, and then you'll add the sharp. And learn to go back and forth between the 2. Then do both hands. One problem for them was in the chorus. In the chorus, it starts out with a G chord. Then you have the notes are on spaces, so you got a half note, then it goes to quarter notes. But it went from the D7 to the G and back to the D7, D7, G, and G. So doing the chorus, it's G, 2 beats, it's G, D7, G, 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 2 beats on the D7, then it goes D7, G, D7, D7, G, G. They had a little difficulty there. On that section, they had a little bit of difficulty doing the D7, D7, G, D7, D7, G, and G. That was the toughest part, so I'm kind of telling you that ahead of time. The first score, they got that pretty quick, where it goes. So, learn this song. Leave me comments. Were you able to play it also? If you've never played the piano before, give this a try. This is not playing by ear, and this is not playing by notes. You're actually using chords. You're learning to play the song using chords. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned to play this song. If you do, for sure, let me know in the comments below. Let me know that, hey, I've never played the piano, and I've learned to play a hymn, and I can sing the hymn by playing it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.